with his,
Call the meeting to order. We're going to do the invocation and pledge. Amy, can you lead us in her invocation?
Dear gracious Lord, we come here today as a body of people who want to do good for their community and for you. We pray that you will watch over us, keep us safe, help us to make good decisions. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, not yet.
Can we get a roll call?
Rose Beach.
Here.
Amy Long. Here. Terry Courtney.
Here.
Sherry Snowden.
Here.
Dan Martin.
Here.
Matt Brown.
Here. Announcements, we have on June 19th, City Hall will be closed in honor of Juneteenth. On June 20th, we'll have a special called council meeting to discuss the Owens property and donating it to our police departments. July 4th, City Hall will be closed for Independence Day. July 5th, we'll have our caucus meeting at 6:30. July 11th, we have our events planning meeting at 6:15 and our council meeting at 7 p.m. Can I get an approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Rose Beach.
Yes.
Amy Long.
Yes.
Terry Courtney.
Yes.
Sherry Snowden.
Here.
Dan Martin.
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes. Can I get the approval of the minutes for May 2nd and May 9th?
I motion to combine. Yep.
Rose Beach.
Yes.
Amy Long.
Yes.
Terry Courtney.
Yes.
Sherry Snowden.
Yes.
Dan Martin.
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes. I see we have a crowd here. Do we have any citizen comments? Yes, ma'am.
So I can tell you my issue and why I'm here.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
My name is Jody Farmer. I live at 1109 Johnstone Point Drive. This is my neighbor Sharon Baldwin. I don't know her physical address. 1113 Johnstone Point Drive. We both have lived in our homes for 5 years. The only people who lived in these homes. We've not had any flooding in our homes until June 27th of last year, where we were told that our house is flooded with sewage because the worker that came to fix the sewage pump didn't put the emergency backflow on. Then the Friday before Memorial Day, our house is flooded again with sewage. I'm a type 1 diabetic with 3 autoimmune disorders and asthma, and I've had to live in sewage being in my home. And so I'm here today because I'm not getting any kind of an answer on a resolve. I want to know why this has happened, when it's going to stop, and that it's not going to happen again. I want that in writing. So when I go to sell my house and I get this disclosure, it's in there stating it's not going to happen again. And if it happens again, I want the city to purchase my house at fair market value.
So may I ask, one, I apologize for your situation. I know that has to be just uprooting in life, and it's nothing you can plan for, and I apologize for the situation that you both were put in. So for the second incident that occurred around Memorial Day, because you were able to tell us what we thought happened the first time, have you been given a reason the second time?
The second time, when I called the city, I didn't get a phone call back. I called back and spoke with the city manager, and she said that she couldn't give me any answers, that they got an alarm that the pump was malfunctioning and they were right out. I said, no, you guys came out after I made the phone call telling you I'm flooding. Now, I did put a plug in my furnace room where the sewage comes up, and it contained it to my furnace room. And now my floor is cracked. And yes, all of this is being covered by the city's insurance, but what was said to me is that it was Duke Energy's fault, because, or I'm sorry, Cincinnati Bell's fault, and then I was told it was Duke Energy's fault. Somebody hit the power line, tore it down. We didn't have power for 5 hours. And as soon as the power came back on, it was on for about 10 minutes, kicked back off, and then it came back on. I have alarms now on my downstairs furnace and on the floor, and my alarm went off. So I went downstairs because I knew I was flooding again. And again, I was blessed that it was contained to the furnace room. But, you know, just 2 months ago, from the first flood, is when my basement was actually a fully finished basement that I spent $27,000 to have built. Was finished and recompleted. And then not even 2 months later, it does this again where, you know, I have to have people coming in, and I'm having to live in this house, and I'm not getting an answer, just that it's somebody else's fault. And I'm not okay with that. I want to know why I lived there for 4 years, and then all of a sudden, in the last year, my 5th year here, my house is flooded twice in less than a year. When I say sewage, there was not just sewage water, there was fecal matter all over my basement. And first, like, I have a video of me walking through my basement the first time, where you hear me getting ready to vomit from the smell and just the water all over. I have a video of sewage water pouring out the side of her house through her sub valve that comes out of her house. I mean, this is not okay. It's gotta stop.
Understood. And ma'am, when you stated that the city's insurance was covering, and I believe you shook your head, so
I've had no contact with the city to know anything you're doing. Right now, things have come to a halt in my house. And I appreciate everything she said, and Jody's been on my right hand. The fact that I guess I was blessed in a way that it happened to her, so I wasn't totally isolated by this, because unlike her, I'm not a youngster. I'm 76 years old. This was supposed to be my free retirement home. I lived through this once and I thought it would kill me. Now it's happening to me again, and I'm just being ignored. I haven't got anything on paper to know what they've done or intend to do, how they're gonna fix this, why it happened, how they're gonna keep it from happening again. I don't wanna, I'm not comfortable staying there. So how can you help us? My
Well,
daughter's
what
out
I'd
there.
like to say something too, actually. I'm not sure if you guys were understanding her when she said the cause for the first backup was due to the pump station losing power. So, you know, we were told then at that point that the backup power reserve failed for whatever reason. It was some sort of electrical or whatever. I'm not sure, we never saw anything on that. I did request to get that information in writing, figure out what caused this, and also figure out why her, how that's even possible, because her basement is below the pump grade line. There should have been a backflow device put in upon construction of the house, and somebody had to sign off on that inspection. So I also asked for that documentation, I never got that. So now that this has happened again in 10 months, and it's due to the pump station failing again, obviously there was no remedy done the first time. If you're talking about a power source, if you have a power failure, you know, most logical human beings would understand that you can't just rely on another power line because there is no power. You would have to have a battery backup or some sort of a generator. There should have been some sort of a real remedy put in place to assure that this wasn't going to happen again. And my mom is 76 years old. This is the end for
Yes,
her.
I'm gonna say,
So-
this is my daughter, because she was living with me. She lived in the basement, so she's lost everything twice now. And unlike Jody, it all happened again to me. We've got videos of all the crap-filled basement. It burned everything in my basement again, some of which is still down there that supposedly is clean. I've got 2 pods sitting in my driveway that I don't know what's being done with, if anything's been done. And I'm not physically able to do this, forgive me if I get emotional, because I can't deal with this. I need help.
It's not the stuff, we can replace the stuff, it's the bacteria that is in the paint now of the actual house. I have a friend who's a master plumber, he's been a master plumber for over 55 years. He's dealt with this, multiple times. This is very serious, it should be remedied immediately. You cannot let somebody sit in raw sewage for 5 or 6 days without some sort of, physical problem as a result of that. Everything that's in the house should have been removed, everything should have been remediated, everything should have been, sprayed with some sort of antimicrobial, and it's just that,
It's just, I've lost faith
it's
in
just been
living
a
there.
big problem, so we're hoping that somebody can remedy this once and for all. And the way that it's affected the property value, I can't even imagine. We haven't had, an appraisal done yet, but we will see.
Well, like she said, yeah, we said the first go round, that this probably will hurt the sale of our homes. In less than a year, we got it again. Who's gonna wanna buy these houses? I'm too old to be dealing with this. I really didn't anticipate this. One of the reasons I bought this and had this home built was so I wouldn't have to deal with issues. I got bigger issues. I could have got an older home that would have maybe been better. I don't know. I just am, I've already been to the news to have an interview on this because I wasn't getting any answers or any help from anybody else. So please, what are you gonna do to help us?
I apologize because honestly, I'm ignorant to the situation and I apologize for that. And I would only ask, Matt being our engineer, Jerry being our public works director, can you offer any insight? The mayor may have more information. Unfortunately, he's not here this evening.
Yeah, can I speak to something about the public works and my opinion of them? No, I'm sorry, I have to speak about this. This is my home, I'm old, I'm paying for this, I'm paying high taxes. Deal with it. I'm having to deal with this, forgive me. You know what I mean? I'm in a different position than these two.
I can speak briefly on air. I can be here.
I knew we had a power failure, I got a notice from Duke. I'm in the house trying to do some work. I had the doors open, all of a sudden my yard stinks constantly of sewage. Be honest, it has for quite some time.
It
So I thought,
stinks even
I thought,
before these
gosh, I
floods.
gotta shut the door, I can't deal with because I had no air, it was hot. 15 minutes later, she's calling me and asking me how my house was flooded. I'm thinking, oh God, I never thought about that. I take 2 steps towards the steps, which I didn't go down. I see all the shit water there on the floor. I called my daughter right away because I didn't know who else to call. I went out to the backyard because I wasn't going down and sludge through that like we did the first time. I see water pouring out the side of my house, shit water, or like a fire hydrant. Now out there with my phone, I'm not a technical person, I'm trying to videotape this. I see the public works guy sitting over there in his truck. So I go over there and say, is anybody gonna do anything about this? Well, we've called them. 30, 40 minutes later, somebody shows up, some young guy. I'm like, you didn't want to step his foot in my yard, let alone help me. He might have got something on his shoes, I don't know. That's the kind of help I
There are
got.
dozens of diseases that can be brought about as a result of living in raw sewage. So,
I didn't have a voice.
I think this gentleman has something to say.
Well, I got Gabe on the phone.
The mayor's, he could hear us, but we couldn't hear him, and he began to speak as you began to speak, so
Well, I had to-
can we put him on the microphone?
Hello?
Yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead, Gabe. I think he's on mute.
Is he on Zoom or on phone call?
He's on a phone call.
He should be.
I think it's wise if we just get more information, then proceed from there.
What more information?
Well, this is the first we're hearing about it as a council. The mayor might know more.
wow.
He's not here.
That blows my mind. There again, talk about losing faith. How is it? This city is not like a multiplex, million people. How can this not be known? I guess that's one of the reasons I said, what choice do I have but go to the media? I mean, somebody better hear about this. Maybe they'll help me.
Unfortunately, communication's not been our strongest suit for a few years, so.
So what were you gonna say, sir?
echoing the
You
same
don't know
thing.
either? You know nothing about
Unfortunately,
it?
this was not brought to my attention until earlier this afternoon. I know that there was some, one of the Public Works employees provided some background on what happened both times. It sounds like there were not backflow preventers on the laterals for those homes, which would help with those backups, but
Yeah, as he indicated, we spoke earlier today, and I've been in touch with the staff here and with the mayor. The mayor's on vacation. He's the one that has the most knowledge. I do know that the mayor has gotten our city insurance involved, and our city insurance advised me today that they've been trying to call you with no return.
I've left them messages.
Okay.
I've talked to other people.
Well, we're not here to argue about it. We're here to gather facts today, and we're not going to resolve it tonight. But the city engineer is aware of it now. Our city public works crews are working on resolving it. It is a product of the electric going out, and not every pump station has a backup. So we're looking into that, you know.
Well, my question is, am I going to have to wait a third, fourth time for this to happen? I don't have it in me.
No, we're not going to let that happen.
Well, the problem is they sort of just kind of left in the middle of the remediation. They just left the drywall.
Who?
completely cut out, and half the stuff is still in the basement.
The people that were sent by the city
It's too
supposedly.
big.
Well, the city didn't send them. The city's insurance company did, and
I have not seen any.
and I understand that the city's insurance company is working with your insurance company, is State Farm, correct? Or is that yours?
No, what you just stated is not correct.
Okay.
When I spoke to the city manager,
Okay, we don't have a city manager, so I don't know who you
she
spoke
told
to.
me she was the city manager. when I
Okay.
called.
We have the city clerk, and we have an assistant city clerk, and then we have another lady in the office. Those are
It was, I called.
you called City Hall, understood.
Yeah, and she just said city manager. She had told me, because
Well, I'm
when
gonna say
Stanley
something.
Steamers first called me, I was
Somebody
confused.
did
I was
threaten
like,
lawsuits,
oh,
so
how
we
come
Man, they
I
were
was
told
like,
10 months ago.
why are you calling me
that they were
about
built
this flood? And nobody told me that they were also a mitigation company. So she actually told me she sent them out. I finally heard from the city's, Zurich, I forget his name, I'm sorry. I heard from him sometime last week, and he said that the bill came to $1,000, that it's gonna be covered, and then to get a quote on the crack in my floor. And I said that was fine. I also stated to him that when we move forward, this has to be fixed, and I want it in writing. This has to, because I asked for this last time, and I never got it in writing. The last time, I went to the emergency room, I didn't have a voice for 3 weeks. I was that sick from having to live in this. This time, I've had a horrible cough ever since this flood, and it's just like, I realized that the insurance company has contacted me, but it goes beyond that. It has to be a fix, because I also put on Facebook and a North Point Walton Facebook group and asked if anybody else had the same exact issue, and I was told by Adam Fugate that the first year he lived in his home, he was flooded twice with sewage as well.
Well, let me say or ask, what I'm hearing you guys say sounds pretty much like across the board, but this is the first you're hearing of this, you don't know anything about it, even the public works side. So I guess what I'm saying, I'm adamant about is that I don't expect to be this put on the back burner. I want something done, and I want it done pretty quick. Because I'm not gonna be sitting around like a city duck waiting for somebody to get a hold of me and do something to fix this so I can live in my home.
Understood. So, and I understand your frustration. I apologize. I can't imagine living through what you all are going through, and just it's your home, it's your sanctuary, right? So it's not a good feeling. The insurance company tried to reach out to you, right? So if they weren't able to get a hold of you, are we able to give her the contact information for the insurance company?
I have that information, I've left in voicemails.
And you're not getting any contact, recontact?
Communicate.
We'll make sure that you guys have the correct numbers to call in case for some reason you have the number wrong or something.
And the same way with the cleanup crew, whoever sent the Stanley Steamer, I didn't call them. In fact, I didn't want them. I wanted the same people that came the first time, because even though that was traumatic, My service people that came were a godsend.
Was Gabe trying to
But
add?
they weren't available to come Friday evening before Memorial Day, so we took whoever we got. But did anybody give me the estimates of what they were gonna do, or what they did, or where they are, or what's gonna happen? I've been totally in the dark about any of that.
There's not
So
been very
what-
much
now what?
communication
I
back
guess
to
it's-
us.
I'm just, so, yeah, where do we go from here? Do I go back here to the council meeting every week to find out?
I hope not, because we're not here.
Okay, I think we've gotten all the facts that we're gonna get tonight, and when the mayor gets back in town, I'll get with him. Should be in a few days, and I'll make sure that we follow up with you,
This week?
and that we do make the
Because
connections.
like my daughter says, in the meantime, well, the last time anybody was there was on Tuesday. It'll be 3 weeks Friday that this has happened. They've got 2 pods still in my driveway. They've moved stuff around downstairs, and they've cleaned the ducts, and now they've disappeared.
Yeah, the problem is they left it kind of halfway done. We're living in a hotel. We can't go back into the house until it's done, but nothing's being taken care of, so we're just trying to figure out what's the next step.
We'll
Where do
get
we
to,
go with it?
we'll get to the bottom of it.
By Friday?
I can't make any
Well, I mean, we
promises.
gotta be back in that house by Friday. That's when our hotel runs out. I don't have money to pay for hotels.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Can you contact Giovanna just to make sure, at City Hall, to make sure we have the right contact information, to your
I've
point?
talked to them
Yeah.
several
Okay, so we
times.
have all
She's
the right
person I
contact
have talked to.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Jody and
I think
Sharon's
she's aware of
information.
the situation.
Yeah, the lady I spoke with, I will tell you, she was very, very nice. So, I mean, I've not had anybody like be disrespectful or unkind to me. I was told, write the mayor a letter and email it, and I did so, and then I got no response.
Tell me to watch the news.
All right, thanks again.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for letting us know about the problem.
I'm going to, you guys need our contact information?
I can email it out to them.
I'm sorry.
I can email your information to council.
Okay, all right.
That, and unless you want to stay, and then you're more than welcome.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and go, I'm just a little bit more level-headed. Just want to make sure that you guys have what you need. I just want it fixed.
Yeah.
Understood. Thank you for being here.
I don't want to live in that anymore.
Right.
Or to happen anymore. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you all, and have a wonderful
Thank you.
As well,
Thank
thank you.
Any other citizen comments? Moving on. Major Mark?
No, not a regular meeting. Okay. We'll do that for you.
All right, thank you
We'll
all.
do it.
Good to be here tonight. Council's got a copy of my report, but to the audience, the month of May 2023, the Sheriff's Office recorded 1,034 law enforcement events in the city of Walton. Some of them of note include deputies handled 10 911 hangouts, responded to 13 alarm drops, 7 attempts to locate, 5 animal complaints. Deputies worked 25 accidents. 4 of those involved injuries. 1 burglary report was investigated. That was the overnight burglary of the Walton Pharmacy on the 31st of May. Deputies logged 40 business checks, attempted 35 criminal or civil summonses, 1 criminal mischief report. Deputies investigated 13 domestic disputes, 7 reports of drug use or intoxicated persons, 4 emotional crises, 3 juvenile trouble calls. Deputies assisted 7 motorists, responded to 3 overdose calls, 7 requests for information. They logged 503 spot checks, handled 33 suspicious activity reports, investigated 4 theft reports, logged 29 traffic complaints. Deputies conducted 77 traffic stops, handled 11 vehicle complaints. They unlocked 10 cars, handled 5 reports of wanted persons, and all told, they issued 18 citations and made 14 arrests. Any questions I can answer for y'all or for the audience? All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Chief?
Good evening. My report covers the year of 2023, which is January 1st through the end of May. Fire department has responded to a total of 642 emergency incidents, 334 of which were within the Walton city limits. The remaining 308 was the remainder of our fire district and mutual aid assistance related calls. A total of 52% of our total run volume has been within the city limits. The other 48% has been throughout the remainder of the district and mutual aid. And for the year 2023 thus far, we have responded to 62 motor vehicle crashes and 14 overdoses. Anyone have any questions for me? All right.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Chief.
Mr. Bogan?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So, on Walton June, on the High Street project, after last month's meeting, Mayor Brown and I met with the state and AECom, which was the sub-consultant who would, has the statewide contract to do construction inspection on the job, just to familiarize them with the project and just clear up any questions they had. They noticed a couple things on the plan or the bid specs, just some additional information we could provide, just to make things easier, just based on similar projects they've had and issues that have come up with the contractor. So they are preparing a cost proposal for their services. They thought we should expect to see that in the next week or two. For our road projects for the year, Jerry and I will have a pre-construction meeting with Naira Paving before the end of this month. They're still on track to get started in the beginning of July for the asphalt work. Eaton, who is doing the concrete contract, they originally specified that they wanted to do the work in the month of September. They have revisited their schedule and think they can move it up to August, and asked if that was okay, and I didn't see any issues with that. They only expected it would take a couple weeks to get the work done, weather permitting, so we should have everything completed and out of the way before Old Fashioned Day. On the Splash Park project, I understand that there's been some discussion about bringing that back up in this month's caucus meeting, and considering the area to the northwest of Bearcat Drive for the new location on the pad. So I'm going to put together a new site layout and get some quantities together. Jerry said that we had Public Works brought some spoils to the back of the park property from when we expanded the playground area. So I'll have to see if that's enough that we can just use that soil, or if we would need to import some more. I think we might need a little extra, but we have some that's already on site. Also, the storm sewer line that goes through the low point of the bowl would probably need to get shifted over to accommodate the new pad, but that'll also help with any water that spills off the pad. And then on our stormwater projects, the contractor finished the drainage repairs on Mashburn, and they also stopped by the previous project on Brookwood just to clean up some rough areas that were rutted from equipment. The issue that was brought up on Larico, we pulled the records on the properties and for the drainage easement that was dedicated when the state did their project to build the Mary Grove extension. It doesn't appear to match up with the existing property line, so there's some kind of a discrepancy there. So we're probably gonna have to go to the courthouse and see if there's any other records and figure out exactly what area that easement covers. So we know what we have to work with. But, once we've got that, we'll get a contractor and get a quote for what it would take to dress up that area, do some grading, keep the water where it wants to go. Any council questions?
Thank you.
These ladies, what is going forward, what is that that we're doing? That's awful thing that happened.
Yeah, I hadn't heard a word about it until today. It sounded like the first occasion that happened was.
Matt, can I cut you off for a second? And the reason I'm doing that is I think we should have a closed session at the end of the meeting, and if you could stay, Jerry, if you could stay, so we can get into this in more depth than we really should in public.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Mr. Becker.
Next, we got ordinance 2023-07, first reading. An ordinance adopting the City of Walton, Kentucky annual budget for the fiscal year July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of city government. Counselor, is that all we need?
Well, that is the title. By further summary, I would say that in section 1 of your ordinance, starting on page 1, going over to the top of page 2, you have the fund balances as estimated by this ordinance for receipts of revenue and for anticipated expenditures. And that's the first reading of the ordinance. You can adopt the ordinance at some future time, and your history has been that you take a vote on first reading, so you could do that at this time if you like.
So may I ask, when we discussed the budget at caucus last Tuesday, some of the numbers weren't correct regarding employee raises. Were those corrected and sent? If they were, I didn't.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Very good. And so with that, the majority of the employees, a dollar was, you got it in front of you?
Yeah, I wrote it in pen.
Can I see it?
I'm old school.
And so I just want to make it public, and then people will understand why I vote against the budget tonight, but essentially, the city would be giving all employees a 5% cost of living increase and also a merit increase, which equates to a 10% pay increase for the majority of the city employees. And so that pretty much determines how I'll vote tonight for the budget. Just making that
You will
clear.
see the numbers.
She gave it to me. Nothing changed, but that dollar was removed. That was added mistakenly.
Except for Tom, that's, yeah.
Okay.
And Keith was changed too.
Okay. Is it factual still that I say that most raises, everyone would get a cost of living raise for 5%, and then merit increases, the majority of the employees would receive 5%, some not, but very few not, would be accurate, right? So that would be a 10% pay increase for the majority of the city employees.
9 to 10 years.
Well, the annual rate of inflation is 8.5%. Social Security is given an 8.7% COLA raise. Across the nation, employers are giving 4% raises, so I do not see that this 5% COLA raise is out of the ordinary, and I think it's up to par.
And then I would just state, I understand, many will tell you this is not a corporation, right? This is a government entity. But what that means is it's your taxpayer dollars. And so my 30 years in the corporation, we don't see raises of 5% cost of living and 5% performance increase. Do I value our employees? Absolutely. I tell Javon all the time, Jerry too, I appreciate you guys. I'm just trying to be the warden of our purse strings and our tax dollars and do what the citizens expect us to do, which I'm not sure a lot of citizens would agree with just handing out 10% pay increases. But that's my piece. So if anyone agrees with it, I guess it goes by motion, right?
Motion to approve.
Second that motion.
Rose Beach,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Terry Courtney,
No.
Sherry Snowden,
Yes.
Dan Martin,
I'm going to abstain for now.
Matt Brown.
Yes. Are we going into closed session?
Well, go ahead and finish up your council comments, and I don't know if the mayor's still on there, if he wants to make comments.
Council comments, Rose, you got anything?
No.
Amy?
I appreciate everybody coming out for the beforehand and everyone else. Thank you. Thank you.
I would agree with Amy. Thank you for being here. I hope to see the faces next Tuesday as we discuss the Odell Owens property. And then my only issue was the garbage cans. So thank you, Jerry, for handling that.
No, it'll be the third time I call.
Well, what can we do?
Oh.
What can we do? That's unacceptable.
I don't know, because with the, the contract says they're supposed to do it, you call them, they said they were gonna do it, then they don't do it. So I'm not sure, I can call again for the third time, I know they'll learn them out the second time, so we'll see what happens on the third time. Because he told me he was gonna come get them, so maybe they didn't, and that's what you're saying. So I can ask them if they actually did come and get them.
Where's it
Tomorrow
at?
is trash day, so if I call them early enough, we're out there at 7 o'clock in the morning, so by 8 o'clock, I can go out and go behind them if they need to call them right away. They'll still be in town, so they should be able to come back and get them. They're gonna have to come from out of town and come back. That might be their issue, they're having to get them to come back. But if I can catch them while they're in town, we'll do it.
Well, there obviously is a communication breakdown. If it's contracted and they should be doing it, then it shouldn't have to be a reminder, right? So, but thank you for calling. I would encourage you, if you haven't asked to speak up the ladder, to do that.
Is it Best Way or is it a separate? Best Way.
Okay.
They're not emptying the garbage cans on Main Street that are the city garbage cans. They're overflowing. And so residents and business owners have begun to reach out to say this is a problem.
For Miss Bailey, I got hers myself.
Thank you.
And I took care of her. I don't know if I today, but I did get it. And then I called them again, so I'll call her again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
How many garbage cans are there? That they,
Count, maybe like 6.
are we able to just do it ourselves?
Miss Bailey's the one at
Well, if it's
Fort Vine,
contracted for them, who would
the
do
one I believe at the Forest.
One that do paperwork.
There's about 4 or 5 of them, or 6.
So if they don't do that tomorrow, is that something you can handle and just make sure it's cleaned up?
But making sure to escalate that up the ladder. I mean, if we're paying for it, it should be happening, right? Thank you again.
I don't have anything. Sherry?
I'm good.
Dan?
I don't have anything at the moment.
I don't have anything.
Gabe's not on, is he?
Gabe, you still there? You're on mute.
I was hoping he
Okay,
caught a
go.
wave.
I'm here, I'm spotty. I can hear, you might be able to hear me a little bit. I don't really have anything to say. I'm okay, but,
Let me know.
Okay. So.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
I think we're gonna
You
go
wanna
to
go to
closed
closed
session.
session?
Motion to go to closed session?
Yeah, that would be pursuant to 618101C, KRS 618101C.
Second.
Do we have to say that?
No, you can just adopt that as part of your motion.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.